Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sync D's here, bringing you my first ever YouTube video. This video is bringing you basically information on the beta, beta impressions on the top five offensive things, gameplay wise that I thought were superior in the beta, and I thought that might need some tuning. So stay tuned, keep it locked. So the first thing I want to talk about is blocking. Blocking in the beta seemed efficient, especially when you, certain offensive linemen had superstar abilities. No, I didn't see any offensive linemen that had X factors. I don't think they do. But the particular offensive lineman I'm talking about is Trent Williams. In the connected franchise mode, his ability was secure pass blocker, and while I did play some superior edge rushers in Khalil Mack in our first couple games, Geno Atkins in the preseason, and who else? Fletcher Cox. Trent Williams didn't really give up any um, sacks. My backside was always protected. The right side of my line is obviously weak playing with the Redskins, but I felt like this could be a good thing because every offensive lineman isn't great. And it showed the pass rush on the defensive side that you have to get the ball out quick. Um, as, as far as pass blocking, when it comes to run blocking, I did see a little bit of issues when it comes to blockers going downfield, like big guards going downfield and actually initiating on a block. Um, some of these guys did get shedded quick, but that's realistic, so you can't really be mad at that. Um, but other YouTubers was saying, in I-form formations, the fullbacks do dummy out a little bit, but hopefully, in the actual game, it gets fixed. Shifting the line and uh, idea the mic really actually worked, especially online when I was playing against Aaron Donald. Um, it was just like Aaron Donald. I want to say he was a non-factor for Tom Brady. I used Tom Brady most of the time online because he was just the most superior like pocket passer. I didn't want to, you know, sprint out of the pocket or do anything crazy. But Tom Brady, if you make the right adjustments before you um snap the ball, there were instances where Aaron Donald, I didn't even know Aaron Donald was on the field. With Tom Brady's abilities, I barely saw Aaron Donald. I knew where he was. I knew where to run the ball. I knew where to make my reads and things because of Aaron Donald. But the blocking just held up because of his ability, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But blocking just seemed better overall as a whole with certain players and certain pe- uh, superstars' abilities than what it was in Madden 19. Next topic I want to talk about is the running ball carrier moves and some of the breakdowns I saw when I was using the jet sweeps and things like that. Um, First off, running is smoother than ever. It feels more Madden 18 esque, but it does feel polished. I felt that if I wanted to go left, I immediately was able to go left. If I wanted to go right, I could go right. Um, Ball carrier moves, the spin was completely toned down. I didn't use anyone OP, like I said. I used the Patriots online a lot. I didn't use anyone else. And in CFM, I used the Redskins. So AP, he had a decent stiff arm against cornerbacks that were trying to tackle him. He was able to truck through them while they were making tackles. I thought that was pretty cool. And like I said, the spin was so, like if you wanted to spin a defender behind the line of scrimmage, it wasn't it wasn't going to happen. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty realistic. But the one ball carrier move that I think needs to be toned down and looked at is the juke move. There were times where I was running, I would run to I would say a pretty decent defender, and it was easy to like juke them. I don't know what what stat it is or what is going into the game, but the juke move is completely powerful to a certain extent. Like everybody can't juke everybody. Obviously, tight ends aren't able to juke as well as a running back, but that feature is a little overpowered in my opinion, especially if you're strafing and trying to make a secure tackle. Um, let's get into the jet sweeps and things like that. I felt that like once I had jet sweeps weren't fast enough, and I ran jet sweeps online and offline just to see if I was getting the same reaction and to the speed of the game basically. The animation that takes place when you pitch the ball or hand the ball off in a jet sweep or end around there was a slight pause when I received the ball to where offensive line the defensive line could react and where I could hit the right trigger and my player has the complete speed to keep running. If that makes sense. When you get the receive the ball during a jet sweep, you're already running. So the defensive line has to react to the player that has the ball. They have to look and then react. Against certain teams, it's obviously going to get shut down because of the awareness of the defensive players. But I felt like as soon as I received the ball, there was a pause when I pressed the right trigger, and I don't know if that needs to be fixed. I don't know if that needs to be looked at. I don't know if that is supposed to happen, but I felt like it should be addressed. The next thing I want to talk about is RPOs. RPOs felt amazing. Um, obviously, it's going to take some getting used to. Some of them are you really have to pay attention to the coverage to take advantage of your opponent. It is going to take some getting used to, but it is a feature that I truly like. I won't talk much on it because I didn't use it very much because it's one of those features where if you mix in and catch your opponent off guard, in my opinion, if you're trying to play um, sim like or just conscious of your opponent, it's one of those plays that could really catch your opponent off guard. Other than that, I didn't see much wrong with RPOs, and I didn't use them a lot. But that's all I'll really say on that right now. The fourth feature I want to talk about is the route running and timing on routes. I felt like it was much improved. Once again, with me playing with the Patriots online, their receivers were basically Edelman. I didn't. I don't think their newest draft pick Neil Harry was on the roster. I think it was Dorsey or Dorsett or something like that. I can't remember. But those guys were far superior than my Redskins wide receivers, which they should be. Don't get me wrong. Um, but you could tell the difference in how these players would get open. Edelman was, I wouldn't say he's phenomenal, but in the short route run game, yeah, the short route running game, you could tell he could get his separation against uh the Rams defense, which I played multiple times. The different defenses, things like that, which he should be, because that's he's a short route run specialist. Um, when I was running comeback routes, the timing on comeback routes was much improved. A lot of times last year when I wanted to run comeback routes with certain receivers, they would just stop on a comeback. They wouldn't come back and get the ball. Maybe that has to do with the precision of the quarterback, but all in all, I felt it was a timing thing. Uh, post routes were timed. Um, crossing routes had to be timed. You had to find the window. The most efficient uh, route combos that I ran were basically five outs or five ins or slants or stick routes, and they were just way better in getting into the flow of the game. And I think that's what's gonna translate to this new Madden is basically getting into the flow of the game, figuring out your opponent first before you do anything crazy. Um, that's what I liked about the route running and the timing behind that. Lastly, I want to talk about the superstar X factors, the abilities, and the difference between the two. Like I said, playing with the Redskins offline, we don't have many superstars on offense. We don't even like the only superstar we have is Trent Williams. Hopefully he gets well after the surgery he just had and he comes back training camp healthy and things like that. Hopefully he wants to continue to play for us, but that's besides the point. Um, like I said earlier in the video, um, Trent Williams has secure pass blocker as offensive lineman. He's the only player on my offense that has a superstar ability, and I felt his presence. On the other end of the spectrum, Tom Brady as a superstar and his superstar X factors, you could tell he was one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. Like his ability to throw the ball under pressure, it was like no one was even in his face. All his passes were accurate. Um, Obviously he's still Tom Brady. He can't move in the pocket. He's slow and things like that. But play action passes, um, timing routes, checks at the line, the hot routes ability, it all played a factor to where I went to CFM and I played with Case Keenum and I want to get off the game immediately because you could tell the difference where Case Keenum obviously he's in as accurate he's not nowhere near accurate as Tom Brady. He's he senses pressure very easily. Um his passes downfield might go out of whack and he what else did Case Keenum do? Case Keenum, he just couldn't throw the ball as well as Tom Brady. Every ball Tom Brady threw was on the money. No receiver, no receiver on the Patriots, had to do work. All they had to do was get open, and Tom Brady got the ball there. So that was the biggest difference I felt offensively about superstar X factors and the abilities. Like these guys actually feel like themselves. Hopefully I can dive back into the beta and test out other quarterbacks. But other than that, I felt the game was very, very polished. I felt the game was very smooth. I felt like it was some bugs that needed to be changed and things like that. But offensively, hopefully they keep it a little bit of the same. Allow us to get familiar with the new product. Give us time to mess with things and of that nature. And hopefully we can have a good Madden year. But other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, uh, join the crew, and remember to be great.